Hi, it's Tim here from Stowhill Estates, Berkshire, and we are back at the Green Oak in Oakley Green for part 2 of the Stowhill Estates Meets mini-series. So here we go with part 2. Hello everyone and welcome back to Stowhill Estates Meets, and today we are back in the caravan and I'm joined by Sarah Grimsdick from my profit team. Sarah, thank you for joining us this morning.
Pleasure, nice to meet you.
Well, likewise. So we always like to start with kind of understanding a bit about your business, what you do, and then maybe we'll dig into the journey that got you there. So my profit team. Talk to me about what you guys do.
So as a part of my profit team, what I do is I help business owners put the right things in the right place to get the right result for them. And the right result really varies per client. So I've worked with some clients who want lots of money and they want it as quickly as possible, and so we look at where they are now and then we look at how we can get them to that point. I've got other clients who are happy with the amount of money they've got, but they want to have dinner with their kids every night, so they want to do less work. So again, we look at where they are now and how we can get them to where they want to be and fill in the gaps.
But it's not coaching.
It is coaching. I try not to use the word coach because it's a very saturated market now. Anyone can stand up and call themselves a business coach. What I bring to the table is I'm a chartered accountant before this, so I help businesses look at their numbers and understand their numbers, and also I got an accreditation as a business coach through the Entrepreneur Circle. So I'm not just standing up going, I'm a business coach. You know, I've actually got the background, I've got the accreditation, I've had the training, I have ongoing training as well to help people get to where they want to be.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit about that background. So you were a chartered accountant.
Yeah, I was a chartered accountant for like 14 years. And before that I did a law degree at Cardiff University. So law degree, decided I didn't want to be a lawyer, became an accountant instead. And then once I left practice, I worked in startups and with lots of different businesses. So I had a really great kind of business round experience. And after that, once I decided I wanted to work for myself, I've set up a couple of businesses. Something people don't know about me is I actually set up a business with Bear Grylls.
Did you?
Yeah, a fitness business with Bear Grylls, which is very exciting.
Talk to me about that.
It was an amazing journey. So my brother knew Bear Grylls, and my brother and I set up a fitness business with him where we put Bear Grylls themed obstacle courses into trampoline parks.
Oh wow!
It was very cool. And in the end, we sold it to private equity, and they kind of moved on with it from there. So that was a really exciting chapter. Very fun.
I had one of my worst ever injuries at trampoline park.
Oh, did you? Yeah, it happens a lot.
Because I'm too old to do it, basically, and I decided I'd do something I shouldn't. But I dread to think what would happen if I'd been taken on an obstacle course.
Yes, yeah, it was very cool actually. Like it was like a kind of 3-story. It was almost like a 3-story soft play for adults.
Right.
You know, where you would jump up and down stuff. It was a bit kind of Ninja Warrior-esque, but you went up the level, and
so it was focused on adults only, or adults and kids?
Yeah, it was adults. Yeah.
Did you have quite a corporate model on that, or was it kind of individuals? Because that sounds like the sort of classic team building type.
I don't think we ever got that far with it actually, because it got bought by this private equity, but it was mostly individuals. It was the trampoline park's audience, really, all their existing audience. So we were trying to get the parents in while the kids were trampolining up and down.
Oh, nice. Well, look, Bear may be watching.
Yeah, you never know.
He may be thinking, I'm just going to check in and see how things are going in Sarah's world. And if you are, hi, Bear. Trampolines and accountancy, it's quite the sort of pivot, I suppose.
Well, it's business ultimately, you know, and I mean, I don't specialise in a particular industry when I'm helping businesses. I like the varied clients that I have. But business is business. Yeah. You know, money comes in, money goes out. You need to have more money coming in than you have going out, and then you've got a business. And I think it's quite a useful sort of overview to have, really. You know, I don't need to be a specialist in a certain industry because I understand what business is, and I know how you can improve your business. Yeah. And we can pull the same levers for every single business. I never claim to be an expert in my clients' businesses. You know, they know their business best. You know, my clients have been with their business for 10 plus years often. they know the business best, they're the expert on it, but I bring skills to it that they don't necessarily have. So a big one being, because I'm an accountant, I can help them understand their numbers.
Yeah.
So a lot of my clients come to me because they do not understand their numbers at all. You know, no one's taught them this stuff as well. You know, they didn't do business degrees at university or anything like that. So we don't study this stuff at school, even though we should.
Yeah.
So they come to me to help them understand their numbers and how they can use their numbers to make better decisions for their business and get them to where they want to be.
Love that. So I always try and avoid saying things in these conversations that like date the video.
Right, yeah.
Because I never know when I'm going to post it. But yesterday was National Numeracy Day.
Okay.
Right. So this is quite a timely discussion. Right. And what you were mentioning there about the fact that, you know, we don't really teach within schools perhaps the practical aspects of what it is to run a business in real life, or to even to be an adult, to be frank, right, and deal with bills and budgeting.
Yeah, mortgages, interest rates, all the rest of it.
Exactly. And we had a previous interviewee, Gaurav from Homey Mortgages, one of the things that he does is go into schools and tries to give that type of advice, and not just schools as well. You know, sometimes it might be, you know, sports teams. He works a lot with football teams, for example, because again, sometimes people haven't had that type of informative approach. I wonder if you were kind of looking back, or maybe even looking forward, what would be the things that you think would be the most useful elements that adds to that type of curriculum, if you like, but certainly to learning experiences for people that would help the most people? What do you find are the most common challenges?
Well, just back to the schools for a second, because I mean, I did I can't remember the name of the club now, but it was an entrepreneurial club at school, where they encouraged us to set up a business.
Was it Young Enterprise?
Yes, that was it. Yeah, Young Enterprise. So I did Young Enterprise at school, and it was brilliant because again, it just taught you money comes in, money goes out. You know, more money needs to come in than goes out, and you can create something that has value and you can sell it to the public. And it was a huge confidence booster. And I think really that was the start of my entrepreneurial journey. So I mean, I'd love to see all schools doing that. I don't even know if it's still around, to be honest.
Maybe we're dating ourselves.
Yeah, maybe. Like, very possibly.
I think I sold mugs or something like that.
Yeah, we sold like picture frames that we made. We made a fortune. We did really well. So I'd love to see more projects like that around, so just so that kids can start understanding that, you know, what business is creating value that people want to pay you for. And you know, I have this conversation with my kids quite a lot, and they don't understand, why do we need to pay to go stay in a hotel? Why doesn't that hotel just let us stay for free? I say, well, no, that's not how the world works. You know, money is exchanged, and you know, we pay for things that we value with our money, and then we get these good experiences that we want to in return.
So talking about good experiences and things that people value and hotels.
Yes.
What do you spend your money on? What do you enjoy outside
of holidays?
Of work? Holidays.
We do. So we've got a soon-to-be 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. So it's a great age to go on holiday now, because you know, they're out of nappies and all the rest of it, and they're into adventures. So we do like to go on holidays with them.
Nice. As a kid, I was lucky enough to go away with my parents on holiday, and they're some of my sort of favourite childhood memories.
Definitely.
And I think they make a massive difference to kind of how people see the world.
Definitely, expanding horizons. And just seeing things that are outside of Berkshire, outside of your world. Because otherwise, you know, a child's world is so small. You know, it's home, it's school, it's their play dates, it's the local soft play centre. You know, so you know, we want to expand their horizons as much as possible.
Well, and certainly concepts of what, you know, how what that word extends to, I think, are also quite limited for a lot of kids, because referenceability, kind of interpreting the connection between one place and another place and another place. Often they're just isolated instances. So I think it's a really lovely thing to be doing, because not only do you get time off, which is really important, but also you get to do those aspects of things too. And so, speaking of which, you mentioned earlier, some people that you work with might want to just do a bit less, but still maintain a lifestyle to which they've become accustomed, for example.
Well, they want to enjoy the lifestyle that their money could potentially pay for.
Right.
You know, but I think they get into this trap where they're working so hard to get the money coming in that they don't get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's at that point I can come in and help them build the structure around them that needs to be there so that they can actually step away from the day-to-day of the business.
That's nice.
It's a difficult trap for business owners to get into when they're so in the weeds of the business that they're doing all the day-to-day stuff and the business completely relies on them. So they can't go on holiday because the business just doesn't do anything.
Because it grinds to a halt.
Totally. Yeah. And that's the situation we need to avoid desperately. Once a business gets to a certain stage, you need to grow the infrastructure around the business owner so that they are not the only person that the business can rely on. So they can take 2 weeks off to go to the Caribbean and the business can function and they can just check in on their phone once in a while.
So it's removing the sort of single point of failure element. And in your opinion, and obviously everything's different for every business, but is there any general guidance that you would offer any businesses watching as to when the right stage is in their life cycle? Is it to do with revenue and profit? Is it to do with maturity? Is it to do with operations? How do you tend to look at that?
So the right stage has got to be when the money is coming in that you can afford to pay for the help, because you're going to have to bring in managers underneath you or other stuff underneath you or systems that are automated, which all cost money. So the right stage has to be when you've just got enough money, enough free cash flow that you can afford to do that.
How do you feel about the concept? Because in the past I've spoken to some people about this type of thing, and some people say, well, you should expand and you should hire before you're ready for it, because when you're ready for it, it's too late, because then you need it. And I've never known where the right way to. I don't know which side of the fence I fall on this.
I've never had a client that's done it in advance.
Right.
So every time I have a client, it's because they've gone past that point and they need to retrospectively bring people in. And I think that's possibly a bit to do with the self-confidence, or often it's not to do with not knowing the numbers as well. So if you're not keeping track of your numbers, then you can't project where you're going to be.
Yeah.
So that in the ideal world, you would be projecting where you're going to be in 12 months' time and seeing that you can't cope with the capacity at that point. So therefore, you're going to have to bring more resources in. But I say most of my clients have got to that point because they're not tracking the numbers, because they're not confident in their numbers and their KPIs and things like that. So that's usually where I get involved. But I'd love to get involved back here.
I mean, it'd be nice to do it that way.
It would be, where I can help them look into the future, as it were, and project what's going to happen based on their numbers, and then we can build the infrastructure in advance.
Do you find that is perhaps one of the more common challenges that you come across, especially with small businesses, where you've got somebody who has a passion or a product or a service, and they sell it because they're good at it, but they're not necessarily thinking about the business element of it, forward facing in terms of what am I forecasting, where am I going to be in, year 3, year 5, and what does that mean for me individually?
Yeah, I like to think that I help my clients become professional business owners, because often they're great at what they do, but as I say, they have no idea how to actually professionalise the business, and that's what we do. We put in place the numbers, the tracking, the forecast, so that they can actually get a handle of the business and feel in control again. Because it's when you start out, you feel in control because it's just you, and then of course it starts getting busier and busier, and it can run away with you. So I help them professionalise it, definitely.
Nice. I think that's such a valuable service, and one of the things that I was kind of thinking about, how would I sort of boil down for the purposes of this conversation in my very layman's approach what it is essentially the message is, and I guess the message is your business and your service is to help people optimize what they're doing, make more money and improve their lifestyle.
Yes, I think that's a really, really good way of putting it.
Good. Well, that means that I've understood our conversation, so that's always a bonus. So, here's a question for you. We, Julia and I, run an estate agent. There are lots of estate agents, arguably too many. Not all created equal.
Very true.
One of the challenges that we have is probably very similar to that a lot of other business owners have, which is how do you create a point of differentiation? How do you differentiate yourself against competition or against the market? Any advice?
The answer is that you do the things that your competitors aren't willing to do, and you guys do this brilliantly, because I love the videos that you make. They're absolutely fantastic, and it's about that. Your competition isn't doing that. They're not doing the personal videos that you guys put out there, and as a result, I felt like I knew you before we even met. And I will when the time comes to sell our house, I know exactly who I'll be coming to, because I keep watching your videos. We're not in the market to buy the house, but I keep watching them.
Much appreciated.
I love the video. So that's the answer to your question is you do the things that your competitors won't do, and often video is the answer for an awful lot of businesses out there. Very few business owners actually put themselves out there on camera, and it really shortcuts that know, like, trust barrier. So as you don't know if you're familiar with the concept, but people to buy from you, people need to know you, and they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And one of the quickest ways to shortcut that, short of having a conversation with every single potential purchaser, is to put videos out there where they can get to know you. So I put videos on my social media as well. I try for twice a week, giving top tips to business owners out there, and I know you guys do it so well. So it really feels like you're coming across as very personal, and that people would be happy to approach you about selling their house or buying a house.
I love it, and thank you, by the way. It wasn't a loaded question,
no,
but I think you're 100%. I think it's such good advice. The challenge, I suppose, that comes with that, funnily enough, is something that in a previous episode of this we were talking to Abby Moore from Abby Moore Photography, and she was saying, something that's really important for her when she works with people trying to elevate their brands is that journey of trusting themselves to put themselves out there.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable. And you maybe have to work up to that point rather than kind of jump in feet first.
You do have to work up to it, but I do think as well you need to, when you're a business owner, you also need to think that you're the only employee of that business as well. So what would you be asking your employees to do? If an employee came to you and said, I don't feel like going on camera today because my hair's a bit greasy, you'd say, get over it. Get in front. That's your job.
Here's some dry shampoo. Crack on.
Your job is to get in front of the camera and portray the company's brand to people watching on social media. So you do need to give yourself a little bit of tough love with that sometimes, because also the people out there don't honestly care what you look like, or what they care about, what you're saying and how you can help them. So
the know, like, trust thing, I think that's really interesting, and it's really applicable to sort of our model, because in every year Ipsos publish a trust index, right, for professions, and estate agents are the 4th least trusted profession, and that basically is after politicians, government ministers and advertising executives. Right, and that's based on preconception. Okay, so sometimes people might think that they know you and they might not trust you. The like part is then ultimately super critical, because if you use video to your advantage and someone sees you and thinks, well, they seem all right actually, maybe they're not what I thought everybody in that industry was like, you can change that perception really quickly.
Definitely.
So the on the video aspect of things, I'm going to say prolific, if that's okay, because you're really good on your social channels at frequent and valuable content. So it's not just posting for posting's sake, which sometimes is cool, but it's also got real value to people. So how do you discipline that side of things? Because it can be quite hard.
So I think you're right that it's very important that your social media is valuable. If it's all about you, then no one's going to care. As we said, that they only care about themselves. So I believe that you can show someone that you can help them by actually helping them. So that's why I try and do my videos, is I try and actually help small business owners so that they know I can help them.
So how do you kind of discipline that use of social, that use of video?
Consistency is really key with anything. I do a weekly newsletter as well, so every Tuesday I send out a newsletter, and you have to just block out time in your calendar to do it, and consistency is really important. And I'm not going to pretend that I've been ultra consistent with my videos, because I went on holiday and then I had a cold and my voice was really croaky, so I didn't do it for a few weeks.
Isn't that the point of what we're talking about? The fact that you can go on holiday?
Yes, that's also true, and I will pick it back up as well. I'll pick it back up and I'll start putting the videos out there, and I've already built that audience, so hopefully they'll still be there. But consistency is the key, because people are never ready or they're very often not ready to buy straight away. So it's ridiculous to think they're going to see one video on social media and want to work with me for the next year.
It'd be nice.
It would be lovely, wouldn't it? It'd be very nice. And it's the same with selling houses as well, right? I'm not in the market to sell my house right now, but when I am, I will come to you, because it's the long game.
You know where to find me. In a horse box.
Exactly. So the key is to be consistent, so that you keep showing up for them, you keep helping them. So when they eventually realise that or decide that they want some help, I'll be the first person they think of.
That's fantastic.
And in terms of how do I do it, I just have to block time off on my calendar and say, right, Wednesday afternoon between 2 and 3 is the time I'm going to be shooting videos.
I'm locking this
no matter what my hair looks like or anything like that, that is the time I'm going to be doing.
I'm closing the door.
Yeah,
getting it done.
yeah, and you have to put it in your calendar, like you would an appointment with a client as well. I mean, I talk a lot about how we consistently need to do work on our business, not just in it. So if you're just working in your business, then it's not going to grow. But if you're working on your business, which is the work that actually brings in new business, then that's when your business is going to grow. And things like recording videos for your social media and for your website, that's working on your business. And you need to be consistently doing that, ideally every day. I mean, I talk about doing 90 minutes work a day on your business, not in it. And that's where the real growth comes from.
Interesting. I love that concept. It's a great soundbite, by the way. So, all right, let's take us on a conclusionary chat. We've a few questions that I like to ask people. They're all deep-seated, psychologically revealing things. They're not really. But here's one that we're going to try today. If you could only ever eat one nationality's food again for the rest of your life, who are you going
Easy,
for?
Italian.
Is it?
Oh,
Same as me.
Yeah.
Same as me. Okay, talk me through your rationalisation of that.
Love Italian food. I got married in Italy as well.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, love to go on holiday to Italy.
Yeah.
Love it. I'd be the size of a house, but it would be worth it.
Occupational hazard, but you'd be happy.
I'd be happy. Yeah.
Well, on that note, look, it's been really lovely to have you join us today. Thank you so much.
Lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.
We hope to see you again very soon.
Definitely. Thank
Thanks.
you.